Okay, hello everyone. We got the answers to part 2, the short answer, the free response. We're picking up with 26 because I had 25 in class. With 26, we have to show that it passes through a point, 236. So the key thing is this right here, because that is your double root. So that's at -4. So that means I have an x plus 4 squared, and then an x minus 6. And there's your a, and it equals y. So x is 2, y is 36. So I have 36 equals a, 2 plus 4 squared, 2 minus 6. And you can do that in your calculator if you want. Just make sure you have the parentheses in it. So then you have 36 equals negative 144a, because this is 6 squared, which is 36, and that's a -4. So then you divide both sides by negative 144. So a is, I know it looks kind of weird, but it's okay, -1/4. Now you got to be careful because they want you to show the equation in factored form. So it would be y equals -1/4 x plus 4 squared x minus 6. And that's how it stays, just like that. Okay, you don't want to go any further than that. The identity, the example of the identity. Remember, you want the left side equal the right. So the easiest thing to do is to box up this right side. So we have an x plus y, x squared minus xy plus y squared. So this is x cubed, and then x squared y, negative x squared y. I always put them in alphabetical order. It's easier to look at when you're trying to figure out which terms combine. Then you have a negative xy squared, a positive xy squared, and then a y cubed. The two peanuts here cancel, so that gives you x cubed plus y cubed. And that's it. Okay, that's all you got to do with that. That's number 27. I'll see how far I can get here in one video. 28, determine the domain of the function. Oh, that do not lie in the domain. So that means the 2x squared minus 19x plus 24. If that's 0, it's undefined. So what we do here is you find, menu 331 it. You have x equals 3 halves, x equals 8. So it's x minus 8 to show. Now I'll show over here the x equals 3 halves. Don't put 1.5 because we're going to take points off because we know you just did it in your calculator. So you cross multiply first. You have 2x equals 3. Bring the 3 over. I have 2x minus 3 equals 0. So there's your 2x minus 3. Okay, and you back it up right in this area here, not over to the side. Now this here, inverse. Okay, we have the inverse right here. So we got to find the inverse. So that means we switch the x's and the y's. So we have x equals y plus 8 over 2y minus 1. Cross multiply. I'm going to do this all in one step. X to y minus x equals y plus 8. So I know it's 2xy, but that's fine. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the 2xy minus y equals x plus 8. So that way I have all the y's on one side. Then you factor out the y. You have 2x minus 1 equals x plus 8. So then divide both sides by 2x minus 1. So y, the inverse, okay, y inverse equals x plus 8 over 2x minus 1. Now they want to know what is when it's -1. So you put a -1. You can do the such that -1 if you would like, and that gives you a y equals -7/3. Okay, and it's 7 over -3. It's no big deal, whatever it is, where the negative is. And the numerator, denominator out in front. Okay, simplify the following rational expression for all values which is defined. So this numerator here, they both have an x plus 5. So I take an x plus 5 out. Now, what are you left with? I'm left with a 3x minus 7 minus x plus 1. Oh, too many parentheses. Oh, that's okay. Okay, because then I have to distribute that through. So I have a 3x minus 7 minus x minus 1. So this here, these two combine, and then these two will combine. So I have an x plus 5 all over 2x minus 8 all over this factored form, menu 331, or you know that the factors of 12 are 4 and 3 to give you 1, x minus 4, x plus 3. So you might look at this and say, oh, that's as far as I can go. Well, no, because you can factor that guy right there. So that would become x plus 5, 2, x minus 4, all over x minus 4, x plus 3, x minus 4 is cancel. So you're left with 2x plus 5 all over x plus 3. Okay. 31. Put them in parentheses. All right. Hold on a second. Okay. Back to 31. Put all your polynomials in parentheses. And since this is a division of fractions, we have to keep the first term the same. And we have to change to multiplication and flip the second one. So x squared minus 4x minus 12 in the numerator. And I'm going to rewrite this as negative x squared plus 36. And then put all the parentheses around them. So remember, if we have a negative x squared, we have to factor out a negative 1. So the factoring of this first fraction, I'm going to take out a 5x. I'm left with x plus 6 all over 10x squared times. The numerator of the second fraction is x minus 6, x plus 2. So I get the negative 4 and then negative 12. Then you had to take out the negative 1. I'll do it over here to show you. Negative 1, x squared minus 36. So the negative 1 is out, and you have an x plus 6, x minus 6. And then things are going to cancel. If things don't cancel, chances are you factored something incorrectly. So you want to go back and check it. Try to figure out where you might have went awry. So the x plus 6s are gone. The x minus 6s are gone. 5 goes into itself once and into 10 twice. X into itself once and leaves you with 1 in the denominator. So that means that you are left with, in the numerator, just the x plus 2, and then you have a negative 2x. So that is acceptable. You might see different variations of this. So you might have the negative x plus 2 over 2x like that, which is the same. Or you might have a negative x minus 2 all over 2x. If it's a short answer, we'll accept any of them, 1, 2, or 3. If it is a multiple choice, you have to get yours to look like one of the choices. 32, a single fraction. So that means that we need to get a common denominator. So this factors to x and x. And we need the factors of 4 that give you a 3. So we have a positive 4, negative 1, and then the other one is x, x plus 4. So your LCD is x plus 4, x minus 1, and x. So that's what you have to multiply each fraction by. So the x minus 4 and the x minus 1 are gone. So I have an x times x minus 6 plus 8. The x will cancel, the x plus 4 will cancel, and you have an x minus 1. Okay, now, what has to happen here? Since this is an expression, we have to have all of these over the LCD. Okay, so then we have x squared minus 6x plus 8x minus 8 all over your LCD. And then combine the like terms, and we have x squared plus 2x minus 8 all over the LCD. So factor the numerator. I have x plus 4, x minus 2, and all over the x, x plus 4, x minus 1, x plus 4 is canceled. So you're left with x minus 2 all over x minus 1. Okay, had to erase some things, give us some space. So another fraction in simplest form, the LCD is 5x. Okay, this is an expression again. So 5x, this is over 1. So that means that this 2 over 1, I have to multiply by 5x, so it gives me a 10x plus. The x is going to cancel, so 10 times 5 is 50. So 10x plus 50. In the denominator, the 5 cancels, so I have an x squared minus. The x cancels, so I have a 25. All right, so you have 10x plus 50 over x squared minus 25. Factor and cancel, I take out a 10. I have an x plus 5 left. And then I'm going to put the x minus 5 first because I know the x plus 5s are going to cancel. So that's a difference of 2 squares. And then these are gone, and this is what you're left with. Okay. 34 is the long division. Determine the equation and show how you arrived at your answer. So I'm not sure if I'm going to have enough room. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a new page. So here's your long division on a new page. Some of these numbers get a little large, so keep track of what's going on. So we start with that 4x cubed underneath the 4x cubed. So x times some value, which would be a 4x squared, will give me the 4x cubed. Then 4x squared times negative 5 is a negative 20x squared. Subtract, so change both the signs, so that becomes a plus. So I have an 18x squared, bring down the 8x plus. This has to be an 18x squared, okay, because it needs to be exactly the same thing, plus 18x. So then you have 18x times x is 18x squared. 18x times negative 5 is a negative 90x. So then, parentheses, subtract, follow the steps, change that to plus. See, this is where we get larger numbers. Okay, and then bring down the plus 10. So I need to have the exact same value, which is a 98x. All right, so yeah, you got to multiply by 98. Kind of crazy, but you don't know what they're going to give you. So I know that 98's out of the screen, but you can see the 98 times x gives you the 98x. Then we have to do 98 times the negative 5 to give me a negative 490. Subtract both. 98x's cancel. We are left with 500 because that becomes plus 490. So that's your remainder. Okay, if you need to pause it, pause it. I got to go back. So we have to see what the directions originally said. So the rational expression can be written. Determine the equations p of x. So we need to show p of x. So p of x is the 4x squared plus 18x plus 98. That's what your p of x is. And show all the work for it. And then it says, is x minus 5 a factor? And it is not a factor because the remainder is not 0. Remember, if the remainder is 0, then it is a factor. So that's up to number 34. I'm going to stop this video because I only go to 15 minutes. I'll save it, and then I'll do 35 through 39 on another video. All right.